Business meeting. It is January 17th, 2023. The time is 2 p.m. I'm calling this meeting to order, and in attendance are Commissioners Brooks, Matari, and Duncan. And if you would join me in a moment of silence, please. All right, thank you. Kay, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, are there any changes to the agenda? Okay, hearing none, I would take a motion to approve meeting minutes.
I move that we approve the meeting minutes for 12/21/2022, elected officials, 12/27/2022 business meeting, 1/3/2023 business meeting, 1/4/2023 solid waste, and the 1/5/2023 community development deliberations and updates.
Second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. Now for the consent calendar.
I move that we approve items 6 through 12 on the consent calendar.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. And the payables list. So
I've got it here.
you got it here? All right.
I move that we approve the payables list from January 9 through 13, 2023, in the amount of $1,323,511,000 and $101,641.83 in jury panel payments.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, I'm just clarifying though, it's $1,323,511. So just want to get that clarified. And now we are on item 14. And Linda, are you handling that? It's the grant agreement, FS 238 COE AIP 054-057, and it's rehab runway lighting and taxiway SRE and rehab taxiway and then SRE building.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is Linda Lee with the airport for the record. This grant agreement is with the state of Idaho, the Transportation Department. The amount, as you stated, $114,615.83. The county's match will be $5,730, and we plan to take our match from our excess revenues.
Okay. Questions? Motion?
I move that we approve the grant, FS 238 COE / AIP 054-057 to rehab the runway lighting for $114,615.83 with a match of $5,730 by the county.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. And item 15, grant agreement. This is number EMW 2022 SS00109, and this is for fiscal year 22. And I always forget what the ship is. It's like State Homeland, or I forget. So Sarah, you'll have to remind me of SHSP, but it's with the Spirit Lake, for the Spirit Lake Police Department and the Idaho Office of Emergency Management in the amount of $16,682. Go ahead.
Yes, this is Sarah Lafredo for the record, and it is the State Homeland Security grant this is in reference to. So the first one is a grant use agreement that is required for non-county agencies to receive that FHSP funding. And so I'm asking for your approval to accept this grant use agreement for Spirit Lake Police Department.
Thank you. Questions, motion?
I move that we approve grant agreement. Oh, good, I'm losing my voice. Grant agreement EMW 2022 SS001109 FY22 SHSP City of Spirit Lake Police Department and the Idaho Office of Emergency Management in the amount of $16,682.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. Item 16, this is a grant agreement, EMW 2022 SS-00109, and this is again FY22 State Homeland Security and Idaho. This is for the Idaho Disaster Dogs with the Idaho Office of Emergency Management, $30,000, and Sarah again.
Yep, again, Sarah Lafredo for the record, and this is just another grant use agreement. However, this one is for the Idaho Disaster Dogs, and I'm asking for your approval of this one as well.
Okay, questions, motion?
I move that we approve the grant agreement EMW 2022 SS00109 for fiscal year 22 for the Idaho Disaster Dogs, Idaho Office of Emergency Management for $30,000 with no match required.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. And now, item 17, grant agreement, C1779KC, and this is FTA 5339, Small Urban Funding Agreement Amendment Number 2 for bus stop improvements and the Idaho Transportation Department in the amount of $279,200. Cash and in-kind match would be Post Falls Highway District, Panhandle Health District, and, oh dear, Kootenai County. I don't know what the KCPT is, so Jody, go ahead.
Yes, Idaho Transportation Department awarded Kootenai County Public Transportation $67,200 for the bus stop improvements specific to B3 and C15. Due to significant construction cost, ITD issued 2 amendments to the original grant agreement. The grant agreement before you represents the details of the original scope of work plus the 2 amendments. And as you stated, the total federal funding awarded is $279,200. Match is $69,800.
Okay. And questions for Jody? Motion?
No questions.
I move that we approve grant agreement number C1779KC slash FTA 5339 Small Urban Funding Agreement Amendment 2 for the bus stop improvements with the Idaho Department of Transportation for $279,200 cash and in-kind match, PHD KCP 69,800.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. So item 18, request for board approval. This is the canine retirement, sale and purchase of new canine. And our Lieutenant Ellis, go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioners. Mark Ellis for the record. Recently, one of our canines, Canine Deuce, was diagnosed with a medical condition that the veterinarian has indicated that the dog should retire and is no longer able to work. We're seeking the board's permission to retire Canine Deuce as well as sell Canine Deuce to his handler for the amount of $1, and that'd be Deputy M. Third. In addition, we're looking to replace Canine Deuce with a new canine. We'll be going to Alabama. The cost of the new dog is approximately $12,500. plus it costs around $4,000 for the travel of 2 employees to go pick out the dog and bring him back. The fund has adequate funds to cover this.
Okay, questions?
Nope.
Okay, I would add that this is actually a Resolution 2023-12, so we will want to approve that in the motion as well.
I move that we approve the request for the canine retirement, the sale and purchase of a new canine sheriff patrol dog, Resolution 2023-12.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant. All right, board approval requests, opioid settlement participation forms, and Nanci.
Hi, Commissioners. Nanci Pouffe, Senior Business Analyst for the record. I am asking for your approval for 5 additional opioid settlement agreements. This will bring approximately $90 million in additional settlement money to the state of Idaho. 40% of that is going to the the counties and the cities in the state. And if we get the same distribution as the last opioid settlements that we entered into, we should get about 5.65% of that to spend over 18 years.
Okay, and is there a downside to participating at this point in these additional settlements?
Only that we can only use the money to counter opioid addiction. So they're very specific in what the uses are for the grant money. Other than that, no.
Okay, questions?
No questions.
I move that we approve the request for opioid settlement participation forms with the BOCC.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. So just clarification that the board agrees to participate in those
Snyder.
five settlements. So, all right, thank you. Motion passes. Resolution 2023-01 and 2023-02. We can handle items 20 and 21 together. It's classification and destruction of records for parks and waterways. Go ahead, Director Snyder.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Nick Snyder for the record. Sorry, I had technical difficulty there. Yes, this is in fact to classify and destroy records, specifically boat launch day use fees from October 21 of 2019 through December 31st of 2020.
Okay, questions?
I have a question. Just, it says that the documents that are classified as temporary may be destroyed if they're older than the current date in 2020. So would that be today's date in 2020 or?
That is a good question. So these are.
They go to December 31 of 2020.
Right. Dave, is temporary the 2 years? Because we've already passed December 31st of 2022.
So what's the question again?
Well, in here it says that temporary may be destroyed if older than the current date in 2020. And I'm not sure if that's referring to today's date, meaning that any documents that are older than January.
It should be today's date. It goes back 2 years
2 years, okay.
from the current date.
Right. But he's just using December 31st of 2020. So it's just 2 weeks of records that he could destroy that were not.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, motion?
I move that we approve resolutions 2023-01, classified records for parks and waterways, and resolution 2023-02, destroy records for parks and waterways.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. Item 22, Resolution 2023-03, and this is surplus of equipment and asset deletion for the snow groomers. And once again, Director Snyder.
Again, Nick Snyder for the record. Thank you, Commissioners. This is another housekeeping item by which we need to send a snowplow that was should have been surplus with our loader, but we found that it had a separate asset tag, so we need to complete this so we can get the loader and the snowplow both on the auction on January 27th.
All right, questions or motion?
No questions.
I move that we approve Resolution 2023-03, surplus equipment and asset deletion, snow groomers.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, item number 23, board approval request, and this is the ratification of Resolution 2022-91, and it's an adjustment to taxes to reflect circuit breaker for Musante AIN 223566, and this is where you can recuse yourself, Bruce, because this was one of the things that we had done before you had taken effect. So any questions, Bill?
No.
Okay, if you would like to make the motion. Do you want to make the motion?
Sure. Oh, I thought you were, I thought it was his turn. I'm sorry.
Well, I figured he's recused, so.
I'm recused
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
he's recused.
on this and the next item.
Yeah, this one and the next.
Okay. I move that we give board approval request to ratify Resolution 2022-91 to adjust taxes to reflect circuit breaker for Monsanto AIN 223566.
Second.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Abstain.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. Item 24, board approval request. This is also to ratify Resolution 2022-101, and this is cancellation of omitted occupancy. And this is for the party of 355 Pioneer Exchange Accommodation and Reinerson AIN 115660. And this is the same thing that we approved this, I don't know, it's been 3 weeks ago, or if this was last month's. So, yeah, questions? Okay.
I move that we approve, ratify request 2022-101, cancellation of omitted occupancy -355 Pioneer Exchange Accommodations, Ryerson AIN 115660.
Second.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Abstain.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. And number 25, so this is a discussion item, and this is for a professional advocate for the Public Defender's Office. The contract will come forward for us to sign next week. What is happening now is the legislature is contemplating how to take public defense from a county-operated system to a state-operated system. And a couple of the bigger counties are getting together and hiring this professional advocate or legislative advocate in order to have relationship with the people who are going to be making these decisions down in Boise. So Ann she unfortunately got stuck in court today, so we can ask more questions next week when the contract comes before us. But I kind of wanted to give you this information a week ahead of time in case, you had more questions next week. But essentially, it's just a person who's in Boise working with the legislature to make sure that Kootenai counties, Ada counties, and Canyon County, I think, that the big counties are represented when they are making decisions for the future of public defense.
Okay.
So, any questions?
Okay.
Okay, so contracts should come before us next week, and you can ask Ann any questions you want ahead of time or wait till the open meeting. And then that's all for that one. So item 26 is our status update pending list, but there are no updates. We just have the meeting on the 25th for the kickoff with our architect and our construction manager. And then impact fees bill, the last you said that you'll have it done by end of February. So, all right, I will now call for public comments. Okay, hearing none. Anything on the line, Jonathan? Nothing. Okay, 2:20, this meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.